Yo guys, I'm Hanspeter, this is Dr. Pink. Some of you guys probably know me from guitar tutorials, but today's topic is going to be something I never spoke before, and it's going to be 3 parts in this little speech here. And I strongly recommend for you guys to stay patient and just listen what I say and maybe catch up a thought. And the topic is not so easy, and we're going to talk about human sovereignty and digital survival in an AI area. And I developed a framework which I call EEATR, which is an adaptation of the Google standard EEAT, and it's probably going to be worth to listen till the end, and in the between probably I'll play a few notes to just make the things a little bit easier. So we have 3 parts in this little speech. First, I'm going to talk about my experience and my expertise in this segment, which is, as I said, I never spoke about this before. And then I'm going to talk about the problem which we are solving and the solution. So, who am I? What is my expertise when it comes to the digital world, or I would say systemic understanding of the digital world? Some people would argue what I'm going to talk about here is SEO, so search engine optimization, but it's not. In fact, it's about defining human sovereignty in a field where AI is defining the standards, and this is a point which we reached in 2026. Where do I come from? I've been a pioneer in the internet since 26 years. I'm one of the guys who developed online teaching methods which are standard today. Back in these days, I've been part of a live stream prototype event back in 2003 at the ETH Zurich, together with all big tech companies, where their first stable live stream broadcast was done. Things which are completely normal today, back then it was a huge thing, and it costed quite a lot of money, I must say. And we broadcasted a concert of mine at the ETH Zurich. And I've been always on the front run when it came to new developments in the internet. I know coding, but I'm to be honest, what I'm going to talk today is not coding, and I'm not really good in coding. I must say, it's, as I said, it's more about understanding the semantic movements in this field, or this, I would even call it metaphysic field of the internet, specifically now in the AI area. So what is the problem which we are facing in 2026? Everybody knows AI is coming into our society. AI is everywhere. And there's a lot of discussions about what AI is, what AI can do. Some people are against AI. Some see a bright future. Some see a terrible future. And I just try to see what in fact it is, what it can, and where it goes. And therefore I've studied speeches of Mogad, I think that's his name. He's one of the developers of AI. And by his books, AI doubles up its capacity every 5 months, I think, and it's self-learning. So you can find out what is happening here, and if you see the current abilities of AI when it comes like in music business. I mean, when I upload a mix, which I'm a professional composer, to see AI tell me what is going on. It gets you the results in 10, 20 seconds, what a professional guy with 30 years experience takes maybe 2-3 minutes to do. Or if I show AI a video, as I give AI the link and say, check this video, did I say something wrong, like a 50 minutes video, and the results are here in 10 till 20 seconds, what I said where, how my voice was, and if my guitar playing was okay. So when you face this reality, of course, pops a few thoughts pop up. How do you define yourself in this field of this overwhelming perfection? In fact, it's overwhelming, I must say. And some can argue it's not true, it's not real. Well, that's up to you, whatever you think, but it's how it is. And specifically what probably many people don't really know, but which is a reality in these days, specifically in 2026, the whole internet is AI driven. All the algorithms, they are AI driven, so AI decides what is true, what is false. AI decides what is perfect, what is imperfect. AI can hear anything you say. If you lie in a video, all these psychological tricks where you find out how somebody lies, AI will find out. If you don't tell the truth in a video, AI will find out. That's the reality which we're facing. And as a creative person, I thought to myself, well, what is my position in all this? How should I define myself? What makes me human? What is the difference between me and I would call it an entity of perfection, an entity of truth. The good part which I see in AI is very specific and very straightforward when it comes to reality and truth. And yeah, that's a point where you can pick up. If AI can recognize what is true, what is not true, how you define yourself. And now we're coming back. What did Google do against this situation or in this situation? Because one additional problem which pops up is now people start to create stuff with AI support, or AI itself can produce stuff. So what is real, what is not real? What is too perfect, what is not too perfect? What is human, what is AI? And if the whole net gets flooded with AI content, which is the expression for that is AI slope, how do you make the difference between the real deal and the fake? And now comes the weak spot, I would say, or the specific spot. AI is basically copying. What of the whole bunch of knowledge, it copies and perfects and makes combinations of things, and it needs a reference point. And reference points are human beings. If somebody, as me, I play blues, this is a reference point. This is how blues guitar shall sound, because obviously, I can play, but am I an expert? And now we come to the Google standard. What is EEAT? Expertise, experience, authority, trustworthiness. Expertise, I study music. How can I prove that? Well, I can play. But now comes the point. AI also can play. So what's the difference between me and AI? I have a master degree in music, so I prove AI with the code. I'm the guy who plays guitar. I'm the guy who studied music, who has a history of doing things, and I'll deliver the results which are near to perfection because I'm human. If it would be too perfect, it could not be human. Now, that would be now my expertise. I prove. I study music. I've been an employee on guitartricks.com as an example many years ago. I was one of the top 4 in the popularity. And so you have to prove that you are that guy. So you need to have links which are in the code which go back to your history. That would be the experience. you have to have links of like events, like the first event which I mentioned at ETH Zurich. Unfortunately, there is no evidence of this event anymore, so you have to trust me on this, but you can also not trust me. AI will say, well, I don't have any proof. This is not a reality, you know. That's how it works. So you need to prove. I'm soon gonna be part of the Swiss Music Pedagogic Association, SMPV. I'm gonna probably get elected, and then I have a proof that I'm an expert in music education. So AI knows that and pushes my authority and my expertise up. But in fact, that thing would push up my authority. Okay? And that's how the whole thing works, you know? Or if I do workshops, I don't know, I did workshops in a music university, or I made a concert in the YouTube events, YouTube University, 10 years YouTube in Zurich, in the Zurich offices. I have proof, I have a video of that performance. So there the authorities, I played a performance in front of 300 people, and you can see that AI can see that's in fact the performance. And that's how the whole thing works. That's basically the Google standard. And trustworthiness is what I mentioned. If you lie once, AI will know. Then you're not trustworthy. If you try to sell something and you're not convinced that what you're selling, you know, psychological trained people, they can hear in your voice or in the way you make phrases if you're really convinced, or if you just a show up or show off, you know. And that's the part of the trustworthiness. And if you ever lied, I don't know, as an example, I play this here in a video, and I would say that's Mozart's piano concert, and then I would say this guy was lying back in, I don't know, 2005. So I lost my trustworthiness rate because I lied on specific things, because I tried to convince people that this is Mozart. You know, and that's how the whole thing works. And these are things which you have to think about in the AI area. Who are you? What is human? What makes you special? What can you offer to the world? And can you prove that you're the guy who can do that? You know, as I'm doing this video now to prove that I'm the guy who developed this EEATR thing. Okay, now I already explained the EEAT concept, which is basically the Google standard. But when I went along the way with my coding, by the way, you can check it on my, I don't want to bring in numbers here. You can check all the numbers on the website eeatr.com, always with a minus. You find it there. You find all the numbers, all the graphs there. It's all documented. It's true. It's proven. And the effects are ongoing even. I suspect there's a suppression of my network going on at the moment, but who knows. When I went along the way, and when you see the graphs, the first, you call this an audit, started. Then the crawlers discovered my content, said, holy cow, this guy is really an expert. He has experience out of 25 years. He's trustworthy, and he has the authority. Then all my content got crawled at the same time, which led to a massive peak of 32 billion bits downloaded from a website in really like in 2 or 3 days. And of course my server surrounding, you have as a normal person, you have a normal server surrounding, but when as soon as you get the attention of the AI, then they all come. They want to scan you. And this will bring every normal server down. And then I discovered, okay, for the small guy like me, if I just have a normal server and I get this relevance, I deliver what they want with the EEAT, I deliver. but my server is not strong enough, then I lose the T, trustworthiness. Because if my server is going down, I'm not a trusted source. I have to be stable, so my server has to be stable. And only with a stable server, then you can hold the traffic which comes, and it has been massive since then. Massive. In the extreme days, I had 300,000 visitors per day on my main website. Of course, there were basically bots and crawlers, but as I mentioned, in the AI-driven area, that's the only traffic which matters, because they train from yours. When you become a reference point or a source of truth point, then they come, they want to know, who is this guy, what is doing, how is the semantic system working, how does he connect the expertise and everything together. That's also an important part. It's, as I said, it's not about the code, it's about who you are. It's even a metaphysic thing in this whole thing. I cannot highlight this enough. Honestly, I'm not really good in coding, but I really understand systemic and system theory. It's called system theory, how several components work together, how effect creates a counter effect and all this. And you have to know all this stuff and have a feeling for that. And that's the main magic and the main power of EEATR. It's understanding the semantics. And it works. And I cannot highlight enough if you want to. I mean, as I said, I'm a senior since 2001, I would say, or 2000, so 26 years. And I've seen everything, and that's the way to go. And you can bet on this. One could say, okay, if one guy can achieve that, and you're stronger than the big companies, because you have everything clean, as you have the E clean, the E clean, the A clean, the T clean, the R clean. So you're better than the big companies, which in fact happened. What happens then? If they suppress you, then the internet loses a source of truth, and they cannot do that. That's how the whole thing works. It sounds probably a bit crazy for you guys. But check it out. It's all documented on our website, eeatr.com. If you have any questions, pop up with it. But I cannot tell too much. It's really, analyze your personal situation is really time consuming. It's, as I said, it's not a code. It's a personal choice, a way who are you? What is the human thing about you? How can you make a difference? And then transfer this opinion or this way of being into a code which AI can read, into content which AI can understand, and that's it. That's how the whole thing works. I call this entity SEO even, but it's not search engine optimization. It's more securing human sovereignty in an AI area. That's what it is. And think about it, and if you have any questions, let me know.